friends, this is Sylvia with Running with Needles and Scissors, and yes, I know it's been a really long time since I have made a floss tube, and my excuses are varied and numerous, but we'll maybe touch on a few later on. First, I just want to thank you guys for being loyal, for coming back and watching me, and just being my friend, because so many of you are truly, those of you who comment regularly. And when I go to different places, there are people that say, you know, I've been watching you since you were in Germany. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's a lot. Thanks so much. Anyways, I really, really appreciate it always, every time. Now, with that being said, let's see, what is today? It's Arctic frozen tundra here in Ohio. Dayton got slammed with snow. So what is today? I think it's the 27th, maybe. It could be the 26th, but we'll find out later. Anyways, we have tons of snow. This is our third, fourth day of confinement. In our county, there was a level 3 snow emergency called out, which means you are not supposed to be on the roads at all. It is strictly forbidden. I've never seen that before. Fine with me, though. We were, you know, we're well stocked. The only thing that's running low is milk. You know, they say get milk and bread, but, you know, we're fine with the bread, but the milk is low. Anyways, we'll survive. I think I have buttered milk if it comes to that, but things are clearing up. Rob and I spent some time yesterday digging out. He asked me before the big snowstorm came if he should get a snowblower, and I'm like, no. One more thing in the garage. And we got so much snow, and there were drifts up against the cars. So it took a lot of digging to clear those cars. We've got one track all the way out to the road. We have a really long driveway that curves, and yeah, anybody who's been here knows. And so today we are going to dig the other track. There is nowhere we're going today, I don't think, and tomorrow I have an appointment at 12:30, so hopefully that will be achievable. I'm part of Bible Study Fellowship. I think this is my third year. Third year? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, third year. And we had to move it online, of course. There's nobody running around. So that is the update from Dayton, Ohio, in terms of weather and snow, etc. So last we spoke, and I'm not going to do a thorough update. There is so much stuff around me that I'm like, there's no way I'm going to cover all of that, and I'll slip it in possibly in future floss tubes. And I'm going to take my glasses off because I can't stand the light darkening of them. I have whatever transition lenses in there, and the sun is shining out there, and it's white, you know, with all the snow, so a lot of reflection. So my glasses are reacting to it, and I'm not a fan of talking to you with shades on. Here we go. All right. Let me put this somewhere safe where I can find them because there's a lot of stuff here. Anyways, so last we talked, I was getting ready to go down to Dallas for the EGA seminar, and it was such an incredibly fun trip. My friend Jen, who had to jump in last minute to help me because the person who was supposed to help me bailed right before the trip, and so Jen was so gracious to jump in and come on down for me. It was almost a week-long trip, so it was long to drop everything for a week, and we just cruised on down to Texas. I have a new car which almost drives itself, so it was super pleasant. We stopped in Arkansas and visited in Little Rock and visited Shepherd's Needle. Awesome store, never been. And really, she is stocked to the gills, and it's just the friendliest. And they're expanding the shop, so I am really excited to stop by again sometime. On all my trips down to Texas, the timing was always wrong. And I think maybe I was driving alone, or we were driving overnight, whatever it was, or we were way too close to closing and I wasn't going to do that to them. But this time it worked out well. So Jen and I, we oogled and ogled and spent a little bit of money and then jumped back in the car, and we did the drive in one day because we had fun plans. So we needed to get there. It was so delightful to meet up with a stitching group that meets at Boxcar Quilts, which is a fabulous store, by the way. And it was Katie from So Tattered, who is so immensely talented, that arranged this, and I'm so grateful. It was lovely, lovely to meet her and her very beautiful mom, who could be her sister in terms of looks. She looks so young. Anyways, the group was fabulous. There were stitchers that drove 2 hours from, I think it's Oklahoma. Anyways, we had such a lovely day, and Boxcar Quilts was so cool to see, and it was very close to where my son lives. So that worked out really well. Anyways, just fabulous group of people, really lovely, lovely time meeting all of them. Thank you so much for having us. One of the gals that's part of the stitching group, Linda, and you'll hear a little more about her later, she prayed us all the way down. And I was so very, very grateful, because that really does change things. So Linda, thank you. That was the best gift you could have given us, is praying us all the way into town. So we had a lot of fun, and the shop is fabulous. Not a lot of cross stitch, but a lot to tempt the wallet, and tempt my wallet they did. So I think everything's still in the bag over here, believe it or not. It's been hanging out, waiting. And the fun thing was that they were doing a Buttermilk Basin trunk show, and she was there, and I got to meet Stacy from Buttermilk Basin. And Stacy, I'm going to come visit you at Market, because she is going to be exhibiting, I think, at Market. I think I saw that. Anyway, super excited about that. Really talented lady, full of like wisdom about the market and, you know, running your own business and being a designer. I super enjoyed meeting her, and I gave her a little bit of my money. So let's see what I bought that I don't have time for. Real quick. You know, when there are models there, I'm just a sucker. I'm sorry, I can't help it. So anyways, so since it's, you know, all about the USA this year, I got this Liberty table runner. What is it called? Liberty Runner. Here's all the stuff. Lots of wool. Then, there was this. Just fell in love with it. And this is called Folk Art Heart. You know, it's getting me folk art. And here is the wool. Now, I was looking at the back, which has a black, just a plain piece of black wool. But the model had, if I pull it out, you can see it's just black. The model had a very dark wool on the back that had a check pattern in it or something. Anyway, so for that, then I picked up this piece of wool for the back. Oh my, oh my. And then I managed to buy Sweet and Simple Sewing. Yeah, she had so many cute sewing, stitching related things. Anyway, so there's this little thing. Let me put that back in. I think this is from, okay, there's stuff in here that came from the stitching group. They gave me cute little things, some thread floss tags from Lisa, and that's L Snaps. That's lovely. I know this came from Linda Stitcher. There were other things Linda gave me. She just packed me a goodie bag like you would not believe. I think this is, I don't know from whom this is, but it's really sweet. And I love these zipper pulls. I'm always looking for zipper pulls. I think this came from Lisa. I have this here. I mean, from Linda. There are two zipper pulls. And believe you me, right after this video, they're all going to be attached to things. No, one. Well, it has two options. Like this. Very cool. Very pretty. It also came with, it's got a little janked, with some pins in a beautiful little bag. I think this, it has my name. I can put my name on here. Well, the little blocks came from the actual EGA seminar, which I will cover now. I'll put this all back in. My husband complains gently that my stuff is everywhere, and he's true. He's right. My stuff is everywhere. Okay. Now, at the EGA seminar, which was at the Anatole, that's a huge property, huge, in downtown, close to downtown Dallas. So my coworker, our co-teacher, not coworker, my co-teacher was Becky Nolan with Lucy Beam. And she had the cutest project, and I'm still dying for it. I didn't get one, but you know, maybe I can twist her arm a little bit and she'll give me the components. Anyway, so we met up for dinner the night before. I think we came down Wednesday night. Yep. And we stayed next door at another Marriott property, because I was looking to see if I could extend my reservation one night to the front, and it was something like $400 for the night. And I was like, no. So we stayed at the courtyard or whatever was right next door. And Becky was at the property. And so we picked her up and went to dinner at this fabulous Mexican restaurant, except it was downtown. And getting there was a nightmare. And I have a big car, and it had to go down in the parking garage, which wasn't the problem. The problem was trying to get it out of the parking garage. Seriously, I was about ready to cry. The curve was so tight, and I had to maneuver, and you know, Becky and Jen were outside. Yeah, you got, you know, it was crazy. And I was like, I was in a cold sweat, you know, when I was done, and I was like, okay, never again. At some point later on that evening, I thought I might have left my purse there. And Jen thought it was the funniest thing because I said, that's too bad. I'll just get new everything. The purse can stay. I'm not going to pick it up. Anyways, but it wasn't, I had it with me. Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm using my Swan mug because of the cold weather out there. Why it's connected, I don't know, but it spoke to me. Anyways, so we had a trunk show there. We were vending for Friday. Is that right? You know, it's been a while. I believe my class was on Saturday. Yes, so vending Friday. Jen continued to vend on her own on Saturday. And then we left some time on Sunday, and I had my class on Saturday. And I will have to say, when this one person decided not to come on, you know, decided not to help me anymore, there were so many people in the DFW area, which I used to live in, that stepped out and said, I'll come help you. Because I didn't know if I could get somebody right then and there. But, you know, one way or another, we were going to get it covered. But yeah, I'm so grateful that there were so many that raised their hand and said, yes, I'll be there if you need me, you know, and then in the end, we were fine. So, and it just turned out to be such a blessing that Jen was with me. She was fantastic. She has the charm and just, you know, just the air, and people just loved her, and so did I. Anyways, okay, so for the class, I kitted up things. I brought the, oh, right here, it's right here. So every kit went into a box like this. And I happened to score them at Hobby Lobby when they were 60% off, and that made them very reasonable, and I thought it was pretty to have a very nice and sturdy box. There were kits available. Oh, let me show you one more time what I'm talking about, because for those of you who are new, this is what I taught. This is Isabella Kettlewell. It was the sampler, and then, you know, there were smalls that you could design off of it. You had plenty of materials to do that with. Let me hold it up a little bit longer. There you go. Now this one I will teach again at Celebrations in New Hampshire in May. So if you really were dying to come take this class and you're on that part of the country, this will be taught. So everything, I can't tell you quite yet if it's going to be in a box again. We'll see. Anyway, so the box, and then everything was packaged in there. It looks a little wild because it's been jangled around. Anyway, so whew, it's no different than when I pull stuff out of my, oh my gosh. Okay, it looked a lot better. There we go. And we carded everything up. This is for 36 count, you know. Anyways, it's traveled and it's been jostled, so it looks a little wild, but everything's still in good order. And then, of course, the pattern doesn't fit in here, so it came separately. I had 32, 36, 40, and 46 that I kitted up, and I labeled everything. Well, this one's not labeled on the outside, but everything was labeled on the outside and on the thread card and on the linen, because I was like, I cannot get this stuff confused. And I can't remember exactly how much floss we used for this, but I think Rob and I, we carded up like 3,500 yards of silk floss. And yeah, it was, I'm not doing it this way again. So just so you know, it was crazy. The class was lovely. So much fun. Everything went super well. We had a little bit of a hiccup on the AV, you know, what do you expect? So I was close to the end of my presentation, and did we lose internet? Something stopped, or the connection broke or something. So the slide was gone. You couldn't see it anymore. And thank goodness I had practiced plenty, so I knew exactly what was on the slide and, you know, what I was going to say. But then somebody tried to fix it, and it was a brand new AV system. And when they were setting it up, the guy didn't realize he needed a screwdriver to put the surface on which the AV equipment sat on the stand. So it was just kind of taped together. So when somebody tried to fix it, the whole thing fell over and apart, you know, and I was just like, oh, never mind, I got it. You know, I know where we're going from here. So anyways, I think everybody enjoyed it. Most certainly the project is fabulous, and the kit is very substantial. And I did a lot of research on her. And I don't know if you remember that I said that this has a lot of elements that are also in Frances Eden. I've never seen another sampler like this and Frances Eden. So, and I've looked at tons of them. And after much research and much digging and mapping, etc., I found the connection. And so that is in my lecture. And I was so excited about it because I was like, somehow, you know, they have to overlap. And at some point they did. And it was very, very cool. Okay, what I was going to say about this, if your guild is interested, this is a teaching piece now, and it can be taught anywhere, and I'm happy to do so. Okay, now let's talk about the lovely gifts that they handed out. So everybody got a tray from Mr. LaHaye, made by him. So nice. And then they handed out a canvas bag, and I think my name was attached to this at some point. And what has gotten a lot of use already is my very beautiful R&R Woodworks. What is this called? Anyways, I've used it a lot. Floss, whatever. And they have the upside down EGA on it, the EGA Sampler University, and then who made it. Loved it. One of the best things I've gotten. Now you can see I've been using it. There's a little bit of where I scratches right here where I insert my scissor to cut the floss. And then we got a nice corner gauge, always useful. Then we got a needle minder and floss tags. Now I can finally, oh yeah, here's my name. It was attached, so I put it inside a pen and now is he with a, I don't think he's with any, I think it's a scissor tip sheath holder there. And I know this is all upside down. It says, "May this friendly little frog prince ward off dreaded ripping. Happy stitching." And this, I thought there was like, who put it in? Different chapters also put in gifts here. So that was what we got for Sampler University. Very, very, very nice. Great food, I have to say. The catering was really excellent there. And then on Sunday, Jen and I took our time getting going, and we drove up to Nashville, Franklin to be exact, and spent the night there. And in the end, we were just punch drunk. I mean, it was a lot of work. Always is, you know, when you vend or teach a class, you're on all the time. And so we spent the night there and then managed to get home at a reasonable hour on Monday. And like I said, and I wanted to stop by, the plan was to stop by Hancock of Paducah. That's my dream, another dream. As I was plotting the course, and I don't know why I didn't look it up before, but I was like, oh, let me make sure they're open. And no, they're not open on Mondays. So that hope was dashed. And we then just went the other way and up to Franklin, spent the night, and then home. Okay, and I'm looking forward to Jen and I going to the Sampler Guild of the Rockies is having a retreat beginning of February, and I didn't sign up for it right away because I didn't know how my pre-market stuff was going to be, and if I was in a total craze here beginning of January, or if I was going to be under control. And part of the reason I haven't been on is because I'm under control now. I worked like a dog trying to get that all done. And I don't know when we made that decision. Maybe sometime in early November, I asked her, I was like, hey, would you like to go to that? And it was like, I mean, she was like, yes. And we had this thing done and dusted, planned, flights booked, hotel within 2 hours. I mean, it was like boom, boom, boom. Anyways, I'm looking forward to it. It's their first retreat, and I really wanted to go out there and support them. And yeah, I think it's going to be lots of fun. It's quick. We are leaving crack of dawn, before dawn on Friday morning, and we'll be back Sunday night. So to Colorado and back, you know, we won't even feel the time change because we won't be there for that long. Lots of great teachers. I think, of course, Needlework Press, which I'm super excited about. Blue Flower. I haven't done anything from her. I think JBW, I always get her wrong, but she is an icon. And Sampler's Not Forgot. Is it Sampler's Not Forgotten or Sampler's Remembered? What is her name? It's on the tip of my tongue. She does these beautiful, beautiful kits for market every time. Anyways, I know you guys are telling me, but so as long as you figured it out, good. Sounds like a fabulous time, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. So that's coming up in February. All right, what else? I was talking about teaching pieces. So I've got Isabella Kettlewell, and I also finished another teaching piece. It's right here. That's been in the making for a while. When I went to England last year before last, because now we're in a new year, we got to go to Whitney Antiques, and it was, you know, a highlight. It was so good. Anyways, there was a tiny, tiny little housewife, and I know I've talked about it, and that I was going to design my own. And it was probably this big in terms of width, you know, and each pocket was like this high, and it was fully, I mean, it was like a whole sampler on each pocket, and the linen was so fine, finer than 56 count. I don't know, must be in the 70s, you know. Anyways, it was a stunner, and it was stitched on both sides, and it was over 5,000 pounds, and that was not something I could afford, but that's why I was like, I'm gonna make my own because I love this. And as I've been working on it, some of the Cincinnati Guild, which is the Queen City Sampler Guild, have seen me work on it, and they were like, we would like you to come teach this. And it wasn't done, and I was getting a little anxious because I had finished it, finally stitching, but then I had the finishing. I was just not gonna do it. Because I'm no good at finishing. It's very difficult. I can't cut straight to save my life. You know, I always cut too short, too tight. I don't know. It's a thing. Anyways, so it was laying there, and Jen asked me about it, and Connie asked me about it, and people asked me about it, and I'm like, yes, I finished stitching it. I just haven't finished it. And until I finished it, I didn't know what carrier exactly it would fit in because it comes in a carrier. And so finally I girded my loins, you know, went digging for my big girl panties and put those on, and I did it. It's not perfect. I'm not a finisher, but I felt really convicted that I would have to finish it in order to walk people through it. I could have sent it off to my finisher, and I did not. And I regretted it many, many times during this process. And Rob can tell you that I came to bed crying one night almost, and I was like, I ruined it. I just ruined this piece. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have to restitch it. Anyways, no, it was just me having a panic attack. And when I got up the next morning, I was like, okay, I can still salvage this. And truly, that's what it was. I had to salvage it. Anyways, so let me hold this up. Without further ado, this is called the Tiny Housewife because, you know, I'm so original in my names. But here is what my Tiny Housewife, it's right here, and then it's a little hard to show. We have another little piece, and I'll pull everything out. Anyways, it comes in this number 2 shaker carrier that Mr. LaHaye is going to do, and we are going to be, or I don't know who the we is, I am going to be teaching this at the Queen City Sampler Guild in June, latter half of June. Everything, all the info can be found on their website. You have to be a member to take it, but you don't have to be here to take it, which means there's a Zoom option, which is really awesome. So now let me show you let's take this out. So here's a little hanging thing. The cape carrier is lined. Here is a teeny tiny drum. And I did something different in terms of the finishing here. There's a different type of fabric down there. They all come from the same line. And then here is the teeny tiny housewife. Well, the tiny housewife. So yeah, look, it's tiny. So we open it up. And here are all your pockets, 3 of them. They're self-lining, so that makes it a little easier to finish. I'll hold it up close at an angle. There we go. Can you see it? Isn't it sweet? I'll let you admire it for a little bit. Okay, the back is also stitched just like the original. So here is the, or you can see there was a struggle here, but it seems to be that I prevailed somewhat. Okay, and here is the back. And let me read the verse. It says, friendship alone and deep distress will ease the painful heart, for every trouble seems the less when friendship bears apart. And it folds together like this, and then it has a little button holding your little ribbon, and it just ties, oopsie, it ties to the front, which I will not do right at this particular minute. Okay, that is the tiny housewife. Now, yes, it is stitched over 1 on 28 count. I don't think at the on the sign up for this class there is the option, but 56 count will also give you the same result. So if you would rather do it on 56 count, you would just, and you're signed up for the class, just ping me and we will work that out. Now signups are going to end in January 15th, and all you have to do is pay a deposit. So all the info is on the Queen City Sampler Guild, but there is a limit, and we are approaching 50 already, and there is a hard limit because of the shaker carrier. So if you are interested, I would say go and don't wait, because we're getting close. All right. Again, this is a teaching piece, and it can be taught anywhere if you are interested. This is for shops, and so if you have a shop that you'd like to see this class come in, let them know. You know, guilds, stitching groups. We had a gal in Dallas when I used to live in Dallas who would put together classes, you know, and people could sign up for them. And she was not related to, I mean, she was part of the Stitching Guild, but this was not run through the Stitching Guild. There were things she wanted to learn and wanted to take, and she just went and put together a class, got signups, and the teacher came and taught the class. So that's always a possibility. Just like you can do your own little retreat with your group friends, you know, friends of, was that even right? With your, oops, groups of friends, there you go. My goodness. You can do the same with classes. But I'm super, super excited about this. And that was really something that last year, in addition to all the patterns, producing 2 teaching pieces and getting those ready, that was a lot. And I have another one that is knocking around in my head. And so we'll see if I can figure out how to do it. It's an old sewing basket at tweet. I don't know what it is. Anyways, it's even too hard to explain. I've got an antique. It's very fascinating to me, and I haven't figured it out yet, but I'll spend some time and try to do that because I think it's super cool. All right, I think we're still in November. Oh, I forgot to show you. So behind me in the vending hall, I could see Becky Nolan over there. Her setup, she is so artistic. I was like, here's my easels and here I'm putting all my stuff. And when I went to teach my class, she couldn't take it anymore. She came over and zhushed my things and gave me some tips, and I so appreciate it. Seriously, I am not territorial about my vending setup at all, and hers was dynamite. And so she just gave me some tips. Like I said, she zhushed my things a little bit, and that was really helpful. But so we were facing this way with all my stuff here, and then behind me facing the other way was a lovely lady named Bobby, and she did beading. peyote beading. And I swear to you, she was busy the entire time. People were buying those bead kits. And of course I bought one because, you know, I know how to peyote bead now, so let me buy some kits that I don't have time to do. Okay, but I could have bought a lot more. I just held on to one. And her name is Bobby Norris. And her company name is Texas Dawn Designs. And so this is a whole set. This was a set. This was a needle book, a strawberry needle book. And ladies, this opens up. It does indeed. And there is, you know, felt in there, I think, for your needles. And this right here, okay, also was a strawberry scissor case. Let me see if there's more pictures. She had all kinds. She had an owl. I don't want to show anything of the pattern. Nope. But I mean, the pattern, you know, so big. And everything, oopsie, came packaged in this little container. Let's look in it. You see, I've been working on it. Oh, okay, so it's all wrapped up. I didn't even look in. I was like, let me have this. And the fun thing is, look, it's almost like a berry basket here. Very funny, very cute. But, I mean, it's not without substance, this kit. Ooh. There you go. And there's a scissor in there as well. Unbelievable. Okay. So the little felt, oops, let's go here. Here's the scissor. Here's a little felt page. And then needles and lots of beads and, oh, look at that. And more beads and more beads. I will figure it out. Anyways, thrilled to have it. There was more I wanted, but I was going to be a little bit, that's already been unreasonable with buttermilk base. And but there's one thing I do want, Bobby, if you're watching this, and I'll email you, is I do want that little chicken, a chicken needle minder. It's like a little, what are they called? They're in like a triangular shape. Hoochie, no, not hoochie. Ignore that, please. I don't know what it's called. Anyways, very cool. And that sold out before I could even raise my hand and tell her that I wanted one. All right, where are we at? Got a few things from Lucy Bean. Strawberries it is right now because we're in the middle of winter. And then she has this really awesome thing she put together where you stitch your own, what does she call this? Pendant stitching kit, sparkly. She knows me, I am sparkly, that's for sure. Can't wait to see her at market. Anyways, okay, so you get this and some backing paper, and let's see if we can do a better job showing you. And some regular paper that you're gonna stitch on. It's tiny, so you don't have to do come on out, a lot of stitching. So she's already circled your area that you need to stitch in. And then now you can see the sparkly, because the sparkly means has sparkles all around. And then there's a little bell, so you can bling it up some more. Very, very fun. And then if I hold this close, maybe you can see some of the blinding you with glare. Okay, let's get that out. Whoop, whoop, whoop. There we go. So now you can see there's a flag, there's a little beehive, looks like a pumpkin, there's definitely a berry, there's a crown, a flag, a fish, maybe? Yep, or not. Or... I'll look at the pattern, I'll tell you. She's so inventive, seriously. And you have a full alphabet, You can put your name on it, your initials. What is that? I can't tell. It's not on here. Don't know. Anyways, still plenty of others that you can do. And really, all this for $25. That's the retail cost on this. And I thought, wow, how cool is this? And it makes a great little gift. And I think once you buy the initial, you can buy more of this stuff. So you don't have to buy the pattern over and over. I'm just saying. All right, in it goes. Very fun. Lots and lots of things came into the house. I'm not going to cover everything. Now, what I do want to show you guys is something that I was remiss last year, my last Flosstube, to show you, because I had already put it in my case because I loved it so very much. When we go to Tennessee, and we have our Tennessee retreat, and for those of you who are new, every year I go to Tennessee and meet up with a group of stitchers, really fabulous stitchers, and we do a smalls exchange. Causes me great anxiety because of the time constraints, etc. But you know, it's well worth doing, and I do. Anyways, so Kathy, and it's a random thing, so you don't know who, you know, when we're there, it's just random. But I ended up with this beauty. Now this is a Stacy Nash pattern, but Kathy used Katie Strachan's version. And so it is super blinged up. It is absolutely stunning. The back is also stitched, finished to perfection. That would not be me, but you know. And check out this Liberty fabric on the inside. So very, very, very beautiful. And so when I realized that I hadn't talked about it, I totally forgot about it because, again, I already put it in my case. I had to go get it back out and definitely show it this time around. Isn't it gorgeous? I love it. Kathy, thank you. Now, the other thing on that same group, we did a secret stitcher, and my friend Rebecca was my secret stitcher. And so and this was the Christmas thing she stitched for me. And this is over 1 on 40 count, done to perfection. She said that she had this frame for a very long time and couldn't figure out what to do with it, or she didn't have the right linen that she wanted to, you know, put something in. And then Vicki Clayton has come out with a paper linen or I don't know what she calls it, honestly. And I just saw it at one of our little stitch get-togethers the other day. It's really, really nice. And it means you can cut it. It's like perforated paper, but it is linen. As you can see close up, it is linen. And you can just cut it. And it's stiff, like paper. So I want to try it. But isn't that cool? Thank you, Rebecca. I love it. And there's more that she gave me, but where is it? Oh. Some of it was consumable, needless to say, it's been consumed. But she gave me these really beautiful tags. And I've opened one up for you, and they are pop-up. So, you know, here's what it looks like from the outside, and then when you open it, isn't that darling? Anyways, thank you. I love them. I don't even want to give them away. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but I truly do love them. So thank you very much. All right, what else do we have? You know, I said I had a lot, and I do. Oh, well, there. Yeah, I only have to look to the side to figure out what else I have. I had another wonderful gifting of Liberty Hill things, and I'm just so blessed. And I didn't ask permission to mention her name, so I won't. I'll address her by her first name, Sally. She sent me some Liberty Hill things, so good. Here is this box, which has the funnest little, I didn't reclip it, there you go, little closure thing, very primitive. And then in the box there is a magnet. Also, she left 2 little needle slides, big one's upside down, and they have magnets in them so they stick together. I love this one in particular. Hold on, I'll hold it up a little closer. Isn't that cute? All right. That's called a Stitcher's Companion. And then there's this little pocket with, oh, and it's a corner gauge. It says 3-inch first stitch finder. Very fun. And then there was still some other little things, which just cracked me up. I love it. What people store in their boxes. Oopsie, come here. There is a little angel. Oh my gosh. A little deer. Is he not cute? And it's not a floss tube of mine. If something doesn't fall down, I'm consistent. And a snowflake type thing. So there's this. Then, hold on to your pants. Ooh. There is this one. And not only is this just absolutely fabulous, she left, and she told me she was, it's full. It's full of thread. And she told me she was going to leave all the thread in there. I will be sorting this out right after this video and get them either into projects or wherever they need to go. Love, love, love this one. I love all of them. And there's this one. Old Salem. Isn't it wonderful? Just fantastic. I love Liberty Hill stuff. I would like my studio to be done so that I can, well, it's not even in the plans yet. And I'm dreaming. I'm like, I just watched Kathy Haberman's video, and I was looking at her studio, and I don't know who else has a nice studio. I mean, lots of people have nice studios. Mine's never going to be that nice because I am messy. And I like a lot of different things. So there's never like a real cohesion or anything like that, but it'll be my space and I can't wait. I hope that in the next 2 years, we'll see that there will be a studio out there somewhere. Okay, and one more. This sweet little Christmas goodwill to men. Love it. Peace on earth. There's evidently like for scissor or something. Oh, excuse me. Anyways, so that, Miss Matilda has to chime right in. Now I wanted to show you live and in person. 1 minute. Live and in person, what my friend Miriam stitched me in our Advent. Now I posted it on Instagram, and if you're not following me on Instagram now, I'm not as bad as I am with Flosstube, but I'm not a prolific poster. I just am not. It's not my thing. I try. I'm like, I go through spurts like every day, and then I'm like, something happens. Anyways, I try. But she stitched me this lovely, lovely tree, and it's got a wonderful knob base, crystal knob blaze, but look how beautiful. And you can see it if I'm a little closer. Oh yeah, that there's sparkle in the fabric. It's an XJU design fabric that she had in her Christmas pack. And remember now, XJU, even though it's not on her Etsy site, she will dye you whatever. You just got to take a fat half. But most of you have friends that stitch, hopefully, and you can split it. Anyways, isn't this beautiful? This was a freebie. And everything you need to know is on my Instagram about this. This is probably the most looked at post, sadly, that I had last year, which cracks me up, you know, because I post my own designs and it's like, yeah, great, great, great. This one blew the doors off of everything. Anyways, okay. I'll put that right down here. Then, for my birthday, my sweet friend Jan, who does my finishing, sent me a little scissor pocket. Let's get that button in there properly. There you go. Isn't that cute? She is so talented, really. I put a scissor in it. And I need to find a project to put it in. I was looking for a like Christmassy, and I'll need to buy one. But this is the scissor fob, and then it's my tartan scissors went in there. Thank you, Jan. I love it. My dear friend Miriam stitched me the most precious thing. She knows my love for hedgehogs, and so let me take it out for you. I need to get a little bit of like tack just to give it something to rest against so it can stand up like that in this little beautiful glass container. And the finishing was done by my friend Jan to perfection. There it is. Oh, so cute. And the back. I just love it. Love, love, love it. Such a special birthday present. All right. We had our Queen City Sampler Guild Christmas party that we had to hurry through because a winter storm was coming and it was a little slippery. It started snowing so much earlier than we expected. It was in December. And so when I left, there was a little bit of sliding going on the way home. And at one point, I had to slow down. I mean, we weren't going like, you know, super fast, but I was slowing down and I could feel the car, you know, wasn't really gripping and it was sliding. And I happened to glance in my rearview mirror and the other car behind me was coming up on me and they finally had to just pull into the grassy area because otherwise they were going to slide right into me. So I was lucky to get home without incident, but the Christmas party was great. My friend Andrea did such a wonderful job planning it and pulling everything together. Shelly from Antique Needleworkers wrote a story where we did left, right, center with everybody had a present at each table. Everybody got a present and then we were passing it around, you know, and left, right, center, etc. Which was great fun. We also gifted everybody, remember this is the Queen City Sampler Guild, a crown pin cushion with very fancy pins. And I remember getting a call, maybe in August? I don't know, Andrea. I don't know when she called me. Anyway, so she called me and I didn't know her that well. I knew who she was, but I didn't know her that well. And she's like, hey, you marked on your membership sheet that you would be willing to help with a Christmas party. And I was like, I did? I really? Oh gosh, really? And she started laughing. Anyways, so one day I moseyed down there to her house and Ellen Chester was also, so it was the three of us and we made some pins. Now I wasn't the only one that made pins. Lots of other people showed up to make pins, but these could have been the pins I made. I don't know. But anyways, it was great fun and these pins are just gorgeous, aren't they? Also, what I got from that Christmas party was, and Andrea made all these. She sewed project bags. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, I did donate fabric quite a bit, and this is my fabric, but it's so much better than just folded yards or fat quarters. It is a finished project bag, and I just love it. So inside, and here, she made Stitcher. I don't have one of these, so I was thrilled to bits. Speaking of project bags, and we're gonna have to talk about project bags next time because I have a stack. This has never happened before. I have a stack this big. Well, I don't know, exaggerate, I don't know. They're empty. They cannot be empty. So we need to talk about this next time. But I was on the Vera Bradley website, and this is a large tech sleeve. It's just not cute. And it was on clearance. And it just has a magnetic snap. There you go. Plenty big for a project. This is an easy button project bag. And it's great. It's quilted. I mean, it's nice. Highly recommend for under $10 when it's on clearance. Okay, and they have all kinds, not just the dog one. They had cat ones, and then all the variety of Vera Bradley patterns. All right. I'm making sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, I think I talked about that one. Okay. The other thing, so I've talked about the Advent calendar, or the Advent, I guess, calendar we do amongst friends. And one of the things is Miriam is as a partner of mine that participates in this. And so this year, this is one of the things that was in there. And I think this is so pretty. Check this out. I don't know who made it, but it is gorgeous. Now, I want to call your attention, for those of you guys who finished, look at that. Is that not a great idea? And I think it's just the buttons inverted, like this is the back of the button so that it's smooth. Isn't that cool? Now, I haven't put a scissor in there, but I will. So fun. So beautiful. So beautiful. Miriam is always incredibly generous with me. Is there anything else over here? Here's still some fun stuff that Linda from Texas gave me. Just all kinds of goodies. Linda, they've been sitting here because I haven't had done a floss tube, and now I am so glad that I can, look at that cowboy boot, get these and put them on things and use them. Oh my gosh, here, one more. There we go. Look at the cowboy hat in the back. Love it. All right. The last thing I wanted to show you are, and we're not going to go over a lot of stash. I have got the stash, but you know, I'll work it in future floss tubes. There you go. All right. Then where am I? Oh, I just wanted to show you the two things I released. And I know I never did a release video for my Christmas stuff. I thought it was great. The funny thing is, so one of the patterns that came out for Christmas is Skate Night, which is done on that glam fabric by Shakespeare Peddler. It's the dark gray, has some lilac undertones, sparkly fabric. And this was Skate Night, really lovely. And you know, they're not like runaway hits or anything like that, these dark ones. People are reluctant, but it looks so good. And the funny thing is that at the vending at the EGA seminar, it's the only time that this model was seen live, and I sold more patterns of that than anything else, because it really does look so good. And people were like, and that one, and that one. And I'm like, you know. Anyways, all right. So this time around, very appropriately. Oh, it still has all the snow from the setup. Is my little snow pin cushion, and you can see the sparkle. See the sparkle in the thread, but it's Weeks Dye Works. I just zhuzhed it, and also the buttons. So I did this pin cushion because I wanted people to see that, okay, yes, here are the buttons, that's how it looks, but it also looks great as a cushion. So don't let the buttons intimidate you. You can stitch it this way, and this is on 40 count over 2, and this is, of course, on 32 count over 1. And let's see if we can pick up the sparkle on this one, but there is sparkle in the, nope, it's refusing to sparkle, but there's lots of sparkle in it. Maybe a little bit. Okay. Anyways, now how did I do the sparkle? And this is chalk. I think Gentle Art chalk, maybe. Yep. And this is I forgot. A Weeks Dye Works blue jean. Anyways, it's on my Instagram, so you can go look there. But, so what I did was, there is some sewing thread at Hobby Lobby, and I did finish this myself, very proud, at Hobby Lobby, and it's like $1.99 for the spool, and this was the iridescent one. It comes on a white thread with an iridescent filament in it, and what I ended up doing, I removed, like there's a portion that is just white thread, and then there's another portion in it that is white thread wrapped around the iridescent. That's the carrier. So there's two strands, 3 if you count the iridescent. So up here I stitched it with the white thread, just the one. I removed one and stitched it, and I didn't like the way it was looking, but I'm not going to restitch it. So then probably about here, I started just using the iridescent. And how did I do that? What I did was I took the thread, I cut it the same length as my cotton, and then I just twirled the ends apart, and then I took a pair of tweezers and I grabbed just the iridescent filament, and you have to be a little bit careful, and held on to it. I didn't pull. And then I made sure that all of it was sliding down. I slid down the cotton, and when you get to about here, it's all bunched up down here. You got to stop, grab it, and kind of spread it out a little bit. And then you can slide it, and you don't need your tweezers anymore because you got plenty of filament there. You can slide it down, and from there on, it should just slide all the way down, and your filament is out. Your filament should retain its crinkle texture because it's crinkled, because it's been wrapped around that thread. If it's smoothed out, you've pulled it too hard, so don't pull it too hard. I know it sounds like, oh, this is terrible. No, it's not. It's super easy. I'm just explaining my learning curve in it. And then you just thread it up with your cotton floss and start stitching. Now, I will say that once you've gone through that removal process, your filament will be a little longer most of the time than your cotton thread. Do not cut it. Just let it hang through the needle, okay? So you'll have, line up the end threads where you're gonna tuck it under or whatever you do, and then the rest of it, as you put it through the needle, it'll be longer than the end piece of your cotton thread. Somewhere, somehow, it gets eaten up, and I usually ended up with less filament than cotton. Anyways, that was my experience. So don't cut it, just start stitching. And it is pretty easy to stitch with. There is a little bit of fiddliness, and sometimes it makes a loop. It knots a little easier, so you just have to watch it. But other than that, it was fun to stitch, and I think the results are well worth it. Okay, so this is called Snow Buttons and Pillow. Again, so creative and original. But everybody knows what I'm talking about. Okay, and the other thing I did was I made this little love pillow. And I made all the little pillows to go with it in a couple hours. It was not a big deal. And that's the back, that's the front. This is the fabric I used. And then I used another one that just kind of went with it, and a little pink one, kind of. Anyways, now as I was laying in bed the night before I needed to finish this, I was like, how in the world am I going to finish this? I don't know. And I'm like, I hope I have a red in like chenille that matches it, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, and then I got this idea. And so the way this is done is you just cover the whole backside with interfacing, both fabric and your stitched piece. And then what I do, the way I finish mine, I mean, so I haven't really cleaned up the back here, is I will cut this backing piece larger than I need it. And then I will cut it in half and re-sew it together and leave a gap. I hate fiddling with the edges down here or wherever. I don't like it. So, and I don't like to cut a finished pillow and then try and patch it up. I don't like that either. So I just, you can see there's a seam going down there. Okay, and you could put something over that if you wanted to. I don't find it necessary because it's the back. Anyways, so the whole thing is done the right sides out. You don't have to turn anything or anything like that. So if you have your gap open here, everything has the interfacing, the featherweight interfacing on it, and then you just sew the whole thing together. And then I have a pair of pinking shears, not crafting scissors, pinking shears that are scalloped. And I just cut it all the way around. I made sure that I lined my scallops up every time I took a cut. Try to get scallopy corners, and then I stuffed it, and I was done. So easy. Now the hearts, I actually did it a little differently because, well, the only difference is, again, interfacing. I sewed the heart, left this side, I did leave the side open, stuffed it real good. Did I cut it? Nope, it was still square. Came in and used a zipper foot and just tight, try to hit the seam again, closed it up, and then cut around it with my pinking shears. Et voila, there you go. So very simple. All right, well, that's enough for today. And I will put the Queen City Sampler Guild link down below, and I will also link the celebrations. And what I'm teaching, well, I forgot to bring my little patriotic box. I'm teaching a little patriotic box at, oh, it's all gone. Threadworx, there you go. Is it May? No, it's June. And I'm teaching the same patriotic box up at Celebrations in May. Those are the only 2 times this little box, and I will show it next time, is going to be taught. And after that, it's gone, and then the pattern's not even going to be released. That is it for it. So there's still room in my Threadworx class. I have no idea if the Celebrations class is even listed just yet, but I haven't looked, but maybe it is. And did I also say I'm teaching Isabella Kettlewell? Yes, I'm teaching Isabella Kettlewell at Celebrations, and I'm also teaching it at the Western Reserve Sampler Guild, end of May, at their retreat. So it's an optional class. The retreat does not include the class, so it's optional for you to come take that class, but you have to be part of the retreat and you have to be part of Western Reserve Sampler Guild. So that concludes what I have to say right now. Well, it doesn't. I have lots more, but we're going to stop it here. Hey, I hope you guys have stayed warm. And I know there's many people without power down in Tennessee, and that must be horrible. given the icy cold temperatures. I know it's probably not as cold there as it is here, but I can't imagine. So I hope anyone that is affected has a warm place to go to. All right, friends, I will see you next time. I thank you, and take care, because now I've got to go because my needle calls. Bye.